Oni here with a beginner build for you. This is great for fellow dum-dums, including myself, and it's also an imperfect one as it is currently, but it is just good enough to where if you're just starting out and need to clean your tank, this is a good means to do it. So what is it? What's going on here? Essentially, this liquid reservoir is inside of a chlorine gas chamber that is entirely locked off. And what we're doing is we are pumping these liquids into here and watching it dissipate, or watching the germs disappear. So you can see we're still filling it up. I'm going to go ahead and toggle this off so we can watch as the food germs slowly but surely dwindle down, and eventually they'll make it to 0. So while that's going to 0, I'll show you a little bit about how this thing functions. So it's sort of built with this particular automation in mind, and it's not the smoothest at the moment, but it can easily be fine-tuned into a more automatic means. And the reason I didn't do that for this episode is that, or for this build, is because I don't have that researched yet. So if you're not deep within your research chart and have this handy doodly little thing, liquid pipe sensor, and by research chart, I have researched it clearly. It's right here. I don't have plastics. So if you don't have plastics yet, then this is an easy way to sort of do it while still, while like preparing for the future when you can build this germ sensor and tell if your water needs to be sorted out in this way. Okay, let's go through our filters. So you can see I have a huge breathability problem at the moment that needs to be solved. Very frightening stuff. At least we have some oxygen down here trapped in this little thing, but yeah, this is getting pretty bad. So please ignore that. Okay, power. The only power you need is this liquid pump and this liquid shutoff. That's all. Very, very simple liquid pump in this area. You actually don't even necessarily need this liquid pump. You could just simply pipe it down from your, like how I have this piped here, all of my polluted water. You could just pipe it directly into here if you wanted. You'd have to set it up a little bit differently than what I've done here, because you would need that automation at that point. But anyways, this is fine the way it is. Okay, let's look at all the rest. So temperatures, don't care about it. Gases. This needs to be filled with chlorine. So how I did this, which you can watch in the Play Along for Dum Dums episode related to this, which is in the description. I'm having oxygen problems and chlorine gas. There's a huge amount of chlorine gas everywhere because I just sort of let chlorine gas loose. And now that my oxygen is depleted, now this gas is looking a lot bigger. So it was down here because I had less of an oxygen problem, but now I have even worse of one. So I ended up just seeing that this was free and just built this because it was like, well, there's chlorine there. I'm having oxygen problems. I do need one of these in the future, so I'm going to go ahead and just build that there. So other ways to sort of get this working is to pump gas into here, do like a liquid lock, but I saved myself some time by not having to do that because it was already there. Okay. Next, our plumbing layout. So I built this here, which I think I'll try to get rid of at some point, but for now that is going to just stay there. Currently, how I have this built, so it's on a rotation. So this is constantly going through and being checked. Ideally, we would have a germ sensor here, and if it says 0 germs, then it would just get filtered out automatically. And then the idea is that this would be slightly rejigged, so so essentially we could have this pump and fill into extra slots. Maybe once a cycle, it would go and fill this up, and then it would go through and run its checks again. So this is how I have it functioning currently, so you don't necessarily need to have it looping like this, but I do because I'm thinking about hey, I don't really want to manage this. So I want it in the future to be constantly looping, constantly dumping out polluted water that it like has cleaned already. Okay, decor, don't care about. We showed you the germ overlay. That's the way that is. Okay, and then automation. Automation is very simple. It's just manual switches. And that's the beauty of this build at the beginner level, is that you can just have it and clean your polluted oxygen easily. So let's go through and show you how this works. So turn this on. This will send this will pick up this polluted water and send it out. So as it's going through, it will, and I have it manual, so you want to make sure that you don't have any germs right here in the contents. So I'll just sort of let this run, and now I think that's probably good enough. So now we will turn it off. So this needs electricity to run, and if this gets full, then it will stop. So you could split this into two different ones if you wanted it to run all the time. But otherwise it'll just sort of run as needed. Okay, so now I'm gonna go ahead and run this. So you can see I have this bridge set up so this will override the loop. So now this will stop and this will just take over. And you'll see now we have food poisoning again. So this is what makes this a little bit of a pain in the bootay, because you have to manually do all this stuff. I just shut it off, so it'll add this last bit, and then it will come down. And then it will slowly but surely get rid of these food germs. So other people have larger builds where it has like 3 of these. There's like a buffer tank. There's one where it gets it down all the way. There's one that sort of gets it down a little bit, and then one final one that like checks and then has a buffer zone. You could build something like that, but even just something as simple as this, just to sort of get your feet wet on like how this works. And essentially how it works is the liquid reservoir is interacting with the chlorine gas behind it. So you can't just have pipes in chlorine gas that won't clean anything, because the pipes are a barrier. You have to actually have the liquid reservoir in the chlorine and sitting in the chlorine. And then one error that is pretty common is you need to have the whole thing in chlorine, or at least I believe the bottom left portion. If you have carbon dioxide in here and it's not just entirely chlorine, then it's just simply not going to work. So that's why when I saw what I saw, I was like, okay, I'm just going to go ahead and build it. Okay. Now we have this food poisoning slowly going away. So now once it's there, then you can toggle this on and get this stuff all cleaned out. So, it's not the most like easily managed thing, which is what I don't like about it. But eventually you can build it so you have a little germ sensor in here, so it will just automatically keep flying through. And then what I do is I reverse this bridge so the loop gets priority. So as one leaves, another thing gets bumped in, and it'll just keep on looping and destroying those germs. And this will maintain as long as this is entirely full. So okay, so now we're good. So now we're gonna turn this on. Now it's turned on, and now you can see some clean polluted water coming right down the pike. And that's it. It's a very simple build, and I hope you enjoy and utilize something like this within your base. And, take advantage of the chlorine that you have, especially if you're starting to have oxygen problems and you see a spot where you can place this. Definitely just do that and then go fix your problems, which, I'm having major problems, so we'll see how this works in the future. Okay, thank you so much for watching, and have a nice one.